All right, so I'm back with another Solana long, much like last time, also Solana. So let's get into it. This is a 20x long with a 243% return on equity. Okay, so a little background. Let's go to the Discord real quick. So what I saw here, the initial bid was here at the demand zone, right here. This was the initial bid, which, if you can see, it almost touched, right? So the assumption was we were going to get this fill because I also noted here that ETH has reached its demand zone and it has bottomed. Same with Bitcoin, it has reached its demand zone and bottomed. However, so I said here we got front ran, but I bought a small amount. So here's here's a trick that I'm gonna teach you guys just real quick. So let's go to the 1 hour real quick. So there was news, I can't tell what exact news that was, but there was news that pushed price up here and we got a subtle break of structure here. Now there are two ways to go about this. You can get front run and just bid the initial, or you can bid um, the continuation, which is what I did. So, secret sauce here, what you can do is you can split your orders 0 0.5, 0.5. So, if the first one gets stopped out, you can still be able to get in the second one without this stop loss being so painful. So, that's something to keep in mind. That's not something you can do. So, what was I looking at here? Let's do a top-down analysis. If you guys remember, my previous trade went something along the lines of this. If you guys remember last week's video, this was how it looked like. So, why did I end up entering here? Well, very simple. We have a higher high. However, it was merely a sweep. So it was completely warranted that we basically reversed down. So why did I still enter this? Well, because this is a extremely impulsive move at the FOMC news. Okay, the Fed said that they were going to cut rates, which is exactly what we were waiting for, exactly what we needed to push prices higher. So we got that crazy move. We broke multiple structures, okay, multiple breaks of structure, and obviously there's an imbalance left behind which has to be filled. So we got that. Now, again, like what I've said, there's a sort of nuanced or discretionary type of trading where I ended up entering here because both ETH and Bitcoin have already touched their demand zones. Okay? So, something that comes with experience. Okay. So, I saw that we got a strong reaction at New York Open. Okay. With this break of structure here, and I got in at the demand zone, a little bit higher than the demand zone. I was seeing if the demand zone would hold, and it did hold, and I ended up buying a little bit higher, and my target was technically a higher high, just like what um, we always go for. We always trade the higher high, the higher low, and then the higher high again. And now, after this trade, I'm assuming we go on to make another higher low. Now, the thing is, we actually closed above, which is good. Actually closed above, unlike this one where this was clearly a sweep. Here, we actually closed above it, signaling some major strength. Now, the immediate demand zone is this. So we have some demand zones that we can look at for a reaction here. Now, obviously, the best one would be here near the moving averages, but this is technically the demand that broke structure. So multiple confluences here. Let's go to the 1 hour. So on the 1 hour, we saw a reclaim of the 1 hour 200 moving average. That's good. Now we see it creeping up again. Now if we clean this up a little bit, now we have a demand zone here that actually lines up pretty well with the moving average here. So if there were bids, we can just refine this. So price could easily go on from here. It could go lower here. And if this ultimately fails, then the 4 hour moving average plus demand zone somewhere here is the play. Now let's go a little bit lower. Maybe we can see some more confluences. Probably down to the 15, maybe. Okay. So the 15 worked perfectly well here, and now we're actually retesting it again. We actually broke below it, but it's still inconclusive because this is one big demand zone. Now, if you really want to see strength, we want to see it be trading above something like this, something like that. So that's something to keep in mind for Sol. And I do believe that Sol will be outperforming the rest of the market. If you look at Sol, we're sitting above near the highs. ETH reacting to this supply zone over here. And we might get another touch into this. We might consolidate here for a while the 4 hour moving averages catches up. Let's go to the 1 hour. We've broken the 1 hour, broken the 2 hour. The 3 hour sits right here. The 3 hour is actually, let me just clean this up. 3 hour for ETH has actually been one of the good dynamic supports. So right here, it has been a good dynamic support. Here, it came pretty close. And now we might see a reaction right there at the second demand tap. Now, for Bitcoin has been performing the worst out of the three majors, warranted because Bitcoin dominance has been, let's see this. Bitcoin dominance has been quite, where is that? There we go. You can see Bitcoin dominance actually just go absolutely dump. It's dumping right here. Here, Bitcoin dominance, absolutely dumping here. Oops. Absolutely respecting the trend. So as Bitcoin dominance goes down, obviously alts goes higher. So what we see here for Bitcoin, we might get a second tap again, something like this. Yeah, basically that's it. If you enjoyed this video, if you actually want to learn how to trade like I do, well, everything is in the Discord. Everything that I actually do here, my explanations, everything, I send it in the Discord. Basically, if you want to get in, it's all in the description below. Just sign up. And if you also want to do this independently, if you want to learn my exact strategy, I also do one-on-one mentorships. So that's also on the table for you guys. Again, just fill up the form in the description below, and I'll see you on the inside.